Put those 9 years behind you and return as Big Boss.
Whether it's a lie, a disguise, or a betrayal, deception has been an ongoing theme in the Metal Gear franchise all the way since the first game in 1987, and MGS5 was the first game in the series that has placed us in the perspective of the most unreliable narrator yet, a protagonist who not only suffers from hallucinations due to dangerous shrapnel in his head, but who was also brainwashed into believing he's someone else entirely.
These bandages were more for your protection, to hide you from those who want you dead.
How's it going, guys? PythonSelkan here. Hope you're all doing well. As viewers of this channel may know from our previous videos, Metal Gear Solid 5 heavily revolves around themes of false truths and constructed lies, themes coming straight from the 1984 novel, with iconic terminologies such as double-think, 2 + 2 = 5, Big Boss is watching you, and even war is peace, all being featured in MGS5.
This war is peace.
Can you keep it up? It's a hell of a lie. It's double-think. In this year, 2 + 2 = 5.
2 + 2 = 5. 2 + 2 = 5.
What also relates to 1984 is the title Truth, which has been particularly used in both MGS5's ending mission, as well as the Truth Tapes, which appear out of thin air upon completing the Phantom Pain. And there's nothing more effective that forces players into believing a narrative than with a title called Truth. For those who may not be familiar with the story behind 1984, this title represents the infamous Ministry of Truth, a ministry that was responsible for rewriting history by erasing the past and continuously replace facts, manipulating the truth as they saw fit.
It's nothing new in my line of work. Manipulating memories, the past.
The less people know about the truth, the more they can fantasize.
Now, the fact that MGS5 revolves around heavy influences of 1984 should be enough to make players think twice about the truth they're being led to believe, especially when no Metal Gear game ever gave us blatant mission titles like Truth before. And even more, when truth manipulation has always been a recurring theme in the franchise, as longtime fans may very well know.
Half of what I'd been told was a complete and utter lie. The other half was a conveniently constructed lie.
Where's the truth then?
It's hidden in the lies.
The Arsenal plans include a system to digitally manage the flow of information, making it possible to shape the truth for their own purposes.
The Phantom Pain even tried to warn us that this particular truth should be left to our interpretation, with the mission's opening quote stating, "Facts do not exist, there are only interpretations," which in other words means that the truth we were about to experience was nothing more than a subjective one. After all, not every player may have been familiar with the story behind 1984, so this quote at the start of the mission served as a reminder for those facts to be questioned and to put everyone's interpretation into play. Why else would facts not exist if the truth we've been given was supposedly genuine? Now, it's important to keep in mind that what we'll be talking about in this video is neither a theory, nor is it based on our interpretation, as what we'll be featuring today comes straight from the game's own development, thanks to an early version of MGSV Script that was leaked after the game's release. Being the unreliable narrator that he is, Venom Snake not only hallucinated both dead people and living people, such as Paz, Miller, and Ocelot, but he also experienced auditory hallucinations that came in the form of cassette tapes, such as Paz's tapes, which Venom completely constructed in his mind.
This is you thinking that I should think that. It is no mystery now. I am just a phantom, a fragment of the mind you have lost. The real me died a long time ago.
It appears the development team behind MGS5 left a little hint for players to be able to figure out Paz's tapes did not exist. A hint that's been uncovered thanks to a very interesting remark found in the game's script. We don't plan on the player seeing Snake receive the tapes, as technically the tapes don't exist. They are just a figment of Snake's imagination. As fans may know, Snake can be seen receiving numerous cassette tapes throughout MGS5, with some examples being Chico's tape in Ground Zeroes, another during Huey's interrogation, or even Quiet's tape, which Snake finds hanging from a tree. However, according to the game's own dev team, if Snake is not seen receiving such tapes, there's a very good chance these could be the equivalent of Paz's tapes, a figment of Venom's own imagination. And you know which other tapes Snake was not seen receiving? That's right, the truth tapes.
He was a doctor, too. That past no longer exists. He was always the best man we had.
No time for anesthetic. We have to open her now.
These tapes magically appear out of nowhere when players complete the game, and we're not talking about some emblems, guys. These tapes were important to MGS5 as much as the long record-breaking ending was to MGS4. Much of what we needed to learn from the Phantom Pain's ending came from these tapes. But why would these appear out of thin air? Who the hell ever gave them to Venom? Or what we should be asking, did anyone ever give them to Venom in the first place? Now, we won't go into specifics on what could be real or not at this very moment, but keep in mind that as we talked about in one of our previous videos, these truth tapes held some strange inconsistencies that were just too unusual to ignore. One example being the advanced automatic doors that are heard when Zero visits Big Boss.
Can you give us a moment?
Of course.
Which sounded completely different than the older doors found at Dekelia's old military hospital, which Venom awakens in. The fact that this eye-opening remark comes straight from the game's development is most certainly intriguing and could definitely explain a lot of things. We're well aware that many of our viewers had been concerned about the validity of these truth tapes, how much of them could have been authentic or not, and this right here sheds more light on what the team had in mind behind such magically appearing tapes.
Now, the shrapnel in your skull is pressing on your optic nerve. I'm told any hard impact could have an effect on your visual cortex. It's helped us implant powerful suggestions through induced hypnagogia.
Scientifically, the auditory hallucinations which Venom experiences could either be caused by hypnagogia, which is the method that was used for his brainwashing, or even from the shrapnel in his skull, for which Ocelot warns Venom that he could experience hallucinations.
Your brain might process visual information incorrectly. You could have hallucinations.
So in case you thought everything around Venom was completely real, this guy has a cocktail of ways with which he could experience visual and auditory hallucinations. And the unfortunate reality of this game is that anything you see or hear is being interpreted by one of the most unreliable narrators in gaming history. Anything can be real, as much as it can also be a lie.
You're not sure what's fact and what's a fantasy caused by the coma. It's still all a mess, huh? All I can do is tell you the facts as they were told to me.
And this applies to the ending too, which is why there are only interpretations. The interpretation of each and every player as Venom Snake, with whom Kojima brought players closer than ever before. Considering the dev team's remarks on the magically appearing tapes, keep in mind that what we hear in the truth tapes stems from the truth mission we experienced, a mission which also appeared out of nowhere, and which remains clouded with unresolved inconsistencies. So the wisest thing any Metal Gear fan can do is to keep an open mind when it comes to the so-called truth behind MGS5, something this channel has long been doing.
Your Russian is superb.
He speaks Russian. What we need is an interpreter. I don't like imitations.
Speaking of which, we suggest staying tuned to our channel for our biggest MGS5 analysis video in years, as we'll dive into the extensive lore of the Metal Gear franchise to bring you the culmination of the most renowned theory about Venom's true identity, presenting concrete evidence that will set the record straight by challenging the very core of the established canon. You don't want to miss this one. The best is yet to come. Before we go, apart from our Patreon, we'd like to announce that our YouTube channel membership is now available. For exclusive videos, articles, and more exciting rewards, join us now. A big thanks for the awesome support. Having said that, what are your thoughts on all this? Do you think these truth tapes are the real deal? Or are we all being deceived, just like Venom Snake? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. We hope you enjoyed this video, and for all things Metal Gear, hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll be sure to return the favor with content you won't find anywhere else. Thank you all for watching. Till the next one, guys, it's not over yet. PythonSelkan out.